are back. You're waking up to the vibe. I'm your host, Joe Altieri. We got a good show planned for you today. Just a real quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share us on Facebook. Post your comments. Give us a tweet. Check us out on Instagram, whatever it takes. But please stay connected because we're here for your viewing and listening pleasure. Oh, yeah. Today I got the one and the only director of operations of not one gym, not two gyms. We don't even call them gyms. Maybe we call them fitness centers. I don't know. But we got the one and the only Mike Altieri in the house. Good morning, Mike. How are you this morning, man?
Feeling good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for being here. Honestly, this is, you're going to educate me first. And then the listeners and viewers second, all right?
I'll bill you after for the consultation, and then we'll go from there.
The bill is in the mail. So listen, I'm going to dive right into this because we got so much to talk about and try to keep things to maybe a 15, 20-minute segment because I think the attention span, nobody wants to listen to me for any more than 2 minutes, so we're stretching it as it is.
That's right. 60 seconds Instagram clip.
That's an Altieri thing.
We're pushing it.
60 seconds and this happens.
Neither
right?
of us can stay focused for that long anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
That's like a common thing just in life in general. The attention span of the average person is like just shot.
It's getting worse. That's for sure.
Gone.
And it's harder.
You know what? Let me ask you a question though. Does that happen in the gym? Do you see somebody starts working out, doing a routine, and then like 60 seconds later, like, I'm bored with this?
I don't know that it's 60 seconds, but actually many routines can take 2-3 months before you start laying a foundation. And I think that plays right into it, is that people get bored. It's not always fun. It's not always exciting and sexy, but you got to do it. And not only do you have to do it for a couple of days, it's a couple of years, it's decades. It's a lifestyle, not just a routine that lasts for 6 weeks. And then you're like, all right, that's it. I'm done.
That's right.
We're good from here.
Well, you mentioned two things, and I think you were talking about me when you said fun and sexy. So
that's exactly what I had in mind.
What a sad picture. If I'm the poster child of fun and sexy, this world is screwed. Anyway, thanks for the coffee, too. We'll call them an unofficial sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. I love having it right at the end of the driveway. It's a wonderful thing.
I'm usually Starbucks when I'm in Schenectady. I do Dunkin'.
I can't do Starbucks. It's just too hardcore for me. It's like...
Yeah, blonde roast.
Yeah.
You got to learn your way around. I become a snob. As I climb the ladder of success, I go Stewart's, then it was Dunkin', I'm at Starbucks. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, I was drinking Stewart's beer about 2 years ago. I'm drinking Druthers now, man.
Wow, that's a come up right there, for sure.
So listen, let's talk about this now. One of the things I wanted to do today is kind of dive in and talk a little bit about the average Joe, no pun intended, but somebody like myself doesn't go to a gym, pretty obvious. Doesn't really have an exercise routine. Every now and then I go for a walk. I'm the guy who goes for a walk with his camera, which isn't a power walk because I got to stop and take a picture of the crane and the hawk and everything else. So, but there's a lot of people out there that, you know, they think, well, maybe I want to go to a fitness center. Maybe I want to get a personal trainer. Maybe I want to coach, and have absolutely no knowledge where to start. So let's just talk to the person that's sitting home right now, might be listening, watching this YouTube broadcast and thinking, you know what, I really would like to get in shape. I'm getting older. Where do you start?
So great question. I think just getting into the gym and creating good lifestyle habits. You don't have to dive in 7 days a week and go crazy. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. And they're on fire. You see them on Facebook. They're checking in every day. And you're like, wow, this person's really kicking ass. And honestly, 90 days later, there's almost no chance of them even being there at all. So I think setting just expectations early on, getting to the gym for somebody like yourself who's not exercising at all, go to a gym, get in the environment, get used to feeling comfortable there, walk on the treadmill. If you're familiar with machines, they're very easy to use. Right. I never would normally recommend doing machines or things like that, but just for the first 30 days to kind of set some really basic foundation for you to feel comfortable. Right. With that said, I don't think machines are good at all, and I would never write a program like that.
Right.
But I think feeling comfortable in the gym, that's the easiest thing to do, just to create the actual habit of showing up, being there on the time that you said you were going to be there, committing to the 3-4 days a week. after that 30 days, the whole program has to change.
Right. Okay. So one thing you just mentioned is the feeling comfortable part. Somebody like myself, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other people, but I can't be alone. I can't be the only guy who sits there and looks at I'll cross a picture on Facebook, or I'll even see some of your team photos, right? And you see all these guys that are totally fit. You see, the young girls who are, healthy and fit and good looking and in spandex. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going there. There's no way. I can't even touch my knees, let alone my toes. Yeah. Why am I going to go there?
Well, what I can say about that is usually, as we all know, what's on Facebook and Instagram is not always the case.
It really isn't?
It's not. Unfortunately, listen, that's not exactly what's in front of me all day long in fitness studios, and it never has been in the gym. But I think just getting into an environment where people are supportive. Not every boutique fitness or every gym is like that. And I think that's the problem. Some people have chosen the wrong places, and that kind of deters them, and then they go back into hibernation for 10 years sometimes,
like 30.
We were plea bargaining down on that one. But just finding a good culture and a community that you think you can fit into and giving it a shot. And I do think having that community certainly can help you stay a part of it, becomes accountability and supportive. With that said, going into a gym and just having one workout buddy, that can be good, but what happens is both of you are struggling. So when they quit, you quit, you're kind of more likely to actually not continue on in the journey.
Yeah. So, all right. Now, where do you even start, though? Do you go visit a gym? You drive there? Do you look them up online? Listen, if I owned a gym, my marketing would be people like myself, overweight, the guy with the beer gut, right?
So you would open Planet Fitness. That's exactly what they've done, and they've done a really good job of.
Is that right?
Oh, they're successful, not just because a lot of people say, well, it's $10 a month, and certainly that's their tool in retention and keeping people forever because no one's going to cancel. But how are they getting people like you who have never walked into the gym to suddenly actually get up and go and break down that wall and join? It's not about the $10. You feel comfortable there because their commercials have people like you. They have people that aren't really familiar with exercise, and they don't allow the riffraff and the big lifters.
Right.
And that's how they've done a great job and why they're the fastest growing fitness franchise in the world.
Yeah. Well, just because they signed up and they're paying a membership does not mean they're going, right?
That's exactly the case. Most people are not. Now, to go backwards a step,
it's a healthy business.
It's a great business, and I used to really slam Planet Fitness, but I've come to a different point in my career where I can appreciate anyone who just wants to get moving and get started.
Right.
And for I'm involved in boutique fitness. I really support those places now because they're bringing in people that we're actually not attracting and bringing in at the moment. So they bring you to Planet if you actually stick to the script and you go for a couple months.
And
at that
graduate.
Point, it's like the farm system for your boutique fitness and your personal trainer. Okay. So the smart trainers out there ought to start to appreciate your Planet Fitness or your local commercial cheap big box gym rather than slam them.
Right. So this is the first time I heard the term boutique fitness.
Yeah. And
when I introduced you, I mentioned director of operations for a gym or a fitness center. There's a difference between a gym and a fitness center, right? Give me just a general overview of the difference between a gym and a fitness center. Might sound like a stupid question.
No, it's not at all, because boutique fitness is actually now the thing, right? But they are, it's almost different businesses. Like you have your big box gyms, like we'll just say an LA Fitness, Gold's Gym from your era. They're still kicking somewhere. Out in California.
It was the YMCA.
The YMCA
still is.
Well, the YMCA is like a big box commercial gym, and then you have your franchise like boutique fitnesses, your Orange Theory Fitness. There's a bunch of different spin places that are boutique style. Now that's what I'm involved in, and I enjoy that because having worked on both sides, I think there's a ton of value to the big box commercial gyms, and I think a lot of people that also do boutique should and still do the big box as well, so they can work on themselves one-on-one. But I think sometimes the big box gyms aren't as welcoming for a person who's nervous and scared and has never seen results. They walk in, they're usually big, bright lights. you don't really know what you're doing. And you feel like you're standing in the center of the universe and everybody's just staring at you like, what's he going to do next?
That's right.
Now, it's actually not really like that. Believe me, I've been there. When I'm working out, I really am not even looking around. I'm trying to get in and get out as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Now, the boutique fitness, you go into a community, and what I like about that is you actually meet people. Our campaign at Orange Theory is more life, because our people, they go out, they hang out after, they join groups, they come to all the parties, and
so it's a cult.
yeah. Hey, I've been a part of worse cults, so
Right.
You're right. It is a cult, and it's a community, and I think that, and it's not just Orange Theory, but there's a lot out there. There's a lot of cool CrossFits, and they get people to continue to come back and stay with them, and anyone who can do that in fitness, it's not a bad thing.
Right. Well, so, I mean, I joke and say it's a cult, and we use that as just to paint a picture of it's a very strong community.
By the way, the only people who say that are people that are not in shape. Oh, that cult.
Yeah, right.
Now, they'll be part of the cult at the tavern or Druthers, which is also a fun cult. It doesn't yield results.
Well, see, I'm a part of that cult.
I know.
But we're going to talk about that because there's a couple things. But first, I use the word cult because what it is really is it's a community of people who support each other, which has to make a difference in the results. I can join the big box gym, as you call it, right? And pay my $10 a month and go there and get on the treadmill. And then 2 weeks later, I'm busy because somebody called me from the local new brewery down the street, right? And I'm no longer going. But when you're a part of this community, I would imagine that you're getting phone calls now instead of from the local tavern or you know the next concert. You're getting a phone call from somebody saying, hey, I'm heading over to work out. You want to go? Is that true? Does that happen?
It is. It's not so much a phone call, but it's usually like if somebody doesn't see you, I'll see them on Facebook. I'm friends with all the people that are part of our community, and they're all over each other. They want to know where they were, how they did in their workout, and many places have like milestone workouts and all these different signature exercises. So they're communicating on that. And if you're not there, it is a light accountability tool, but even more than that, like at our place and many other of the boutique fitnesses where they charge a little bit more than your typical commercial gym, we actually will call you. We call it a low usage. If I haven't seen you in 2 weeks,
oh, is that right?
A coach is giving you a call and saying, hey, and we're reassessing, hey, when you signed up, I know you wanted to lose 20 pounds. And one of your barriers was, commitment and accountability and being part of the wrong cult.
That's right.
So, let's
I'm not answering your call because I'm eating my chicken wings. Leave me alone.
You're screening us, and then we'll be in your DMs on Facebook.
That's right.
But we don't give up. We don't give up on you. And I think it's not just because you're paying a lot more money. I think the boutique fitness places get a little bit more of a specialized, professional professionals that go a step further rather than... Not to say there's not great trainers and stuff in the commercial fitness places, but they usually, like their members, graduate to personal training on their own or boutique fitness.
Sure. Okay. I actually heard of an amazing story yesterday, and it is somebody who actually goes to Orange Theory Fitness that they had to, I'm not going to mention any names, but they took a new job as a security guard.
Yep.
And they had to lose some weight to pass the exam. Mm-hmm. And, kudos to you guys. From what I understand, this person is taking it to a whole nother level as far as their physique and their health and everything.
And I know who you're talking about. And having known that person for a long time, I will remember when they first signed up, I'm thinking, all right, this person's, I don't know if they're going to stick with it. I've never seen them in the gym. I've never really seen them make a commitment. So I've been a part of fitness for a long time. So getting to see those people over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, and this person's been fit now for 2.5, 3 years.
Right.
And they're still active. They're still going. So it's not about losing 20, 30 pounds because honestly, that's really not as hard as we think. It's I know, it seems it. 3 years later.
It's taken me 30 years to gain weight.
Yeah, you put in a lot of work. But seeing those people 3, 4, 5 years later actually still living that lifestyle and not seeing the weight or the habits come back on, that's actually... like the real success story. But
yeah, that's pretty cool. So, all right. So somebody decides, all right, I'm new at this. I like your approach. Maybe they start out at a big box, but also if you're serious about it and let's say your doctor says, hey, it's now or never because you won't be here tomorrow. Some people have health issues. I think you have to take, if it's really serious, step it up, get a personal trainer or coach, right? And take it serious to walk you through that process. Let's say just in general, whether it's big box or a boutique fitness center, just in general, I show up on day one, right? I got my jeans on and my hoodie. Do you get that?
I don't get it where I'm at now, but when I worked in commercial fitness, I do see a lot of that.
It's like, no, man, you don't wear jeans and a hoodie to a gym, right?
Yeah. And that's why I recommend the first 30 days. It's not just about exercising, because quite frankly, I would never really recommend someone just show up to the gym and use machines. But I think being comfortable, looking around, seeing what people are wearing, seeing what, making sure you're wearing the appropriate shoes and shorts and shirt and just the movement and understanding where everything is and feeling good.
Yeah, well, listen, we can laugh and joke. If I was to go to whether a boutique fitness center or a big box, it wouldn't matter. I'm not prepared. So what do? Do I go to Dick's Sporting Goods and say, hey, I'm going to a gym tomorrow. What should I wear? I mean, is there, it sounds kind of crazy, but is there like a checklist? Like what kind of shoes are running shoes? And
so, yeah, I mean, all of this comes with what kind of finances you're dealing with, but I know like there are a lot of local like running stores. And I'll tell you, I've never paid much attention to my shoes and when I exercise for the most part, unless I'm doing big, power lifts or strongman type stuff. With that said, I went to Fleet Feet, and I know there's one everywhere. That's a true experience. Like, they put me on to exactly what I should be wearing. When I put on a pair of nice running shoes they gave me, I'm a big dude. I felt like I was floating.
Is that right?
And otherwise, when I wore the other just cheap shoes you grab at the store, I felt like I was carrying a piano on my back. So, and you could hear me from a mile away running on the treadmill. So that does matter. It's not that serious, though. Again, I think that's funny that you say that, because those are the things you're kind of telling yourself that are stopping you from going, what do I even wear? What kind of shoes? What kind of shirt? And it doesn't have to be all that. Just shorts, sweatpants, sweatshirt, a pair of exercise sneakers. Most people know what that is, and that's sufficient for just to start.
But would you agree with me? I'm not the only one.
Absolutely. I mean, you see people walking in the gym every day, and they're so confused and it's so foreign to them that becomes a barrier. I don't even literally don't know where to start. Right. Do I walk in? Do I pay? And then what do I do? Like, and again, that's why sometimes people, if you have the money to bypass that, sure, go right into a trainer. Now, the reason I recommend signing up and just get moving for 30 days is because I feel like you have to feel comfortable and know your surroundings and kind of just move around, and you could probably shave off a little bit of weight or just get rid of the soreness. So when you do pay the $1,000 for, 10 or 15 sessions, you don't have to go through all the soreness and kind of feel like crap. You're actually started the process a little bit, and it helps your trainer a little bit too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's not your first day in the gym is your first day with a trainer. That can be tough for us. We can do it.
Yeah, right.
But, set yourself up for success a little bit.
I've come to this treadmill 5 times and told you how to turn it on. Will you please stop?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the real basics, you gotta do on your own. You gotta invest a little bit. So.
Right. Oh man. So all right, now I've joined the gym. I've been going for 30 days, feeling good about myself. I've decided, you know what, I'm gonna spend a little bit more money. I'm gonna get myself a trainer. What does that look like? Is this a system where somebody's going to train me every day? They're going to train. I know, like you said, the boutique fitness centers, they'll call you if you're not around in 2 weeks. They joked with me one time and they said, Joe, you should get a spotter. When you lift weights and you got a spotter. And then someone else joked and goes, I just spotted him at the bar. So I'm like, why does everybody say that about me? I go to a bar once a month.
Because you're not quiet at the bar.
That's right.
You leave your mark. When you leave, people think you're there all weekend.
That's right. What the heck?
Your voice echoes. No, but I think trainers might not like what I have to say about this, but I think most people aren't looking to commit to a personal trainer forever. And I think being upfront with your trainer right off the bat. And I recognize this. I worked in Amsterdam. It's like a lower income area. Like, I'm not going to have people paying $70 a session for longer than 10 or 20 sessions. So I actually made the commitment to say, you know what, I'm not going to string them along. I'm going to teach them and educate them on what they can do on their own. After we get through that and they truly understand it, I printed it for them and I would give them a program. So with that said, go to your trainer and tell them what you're looking to do.
Right.
It's an investment. Here's my investment. it's going to be aggressive at first, and then it's going to become a low risk investment in terms of money, right? Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
For a guy who, I know you know about stocks and you like that stuff, so I'm trying to speak your language here a little bit.
That's right. No, I'm following you. Teach a man to fish, he'll fish for a lifetime.
But once you get your own program and you start to understand and you build confidence, then you could pop into your trainer or pop into these group classes in addition to your current program.
Right.
But a lot of people, it's funny, working in commercial fitness, I would watch people come into the gym and they got the consistency down and the frequency 5 days a week. Some of these people, I opened the gym. That's how I started my career in fitness. I would open 4:30 every day working the desk.
Right.
I'd watch the same people. They'd come in, they'd grab the crunch machine and rip that thing apart, and they would do these routines, and it didn't really make much sense.
Right.
I respect that they're there early. I respect their discipline, their consistency, their frequency. But I'm saying, wow, this person, I've talked to a couple of them about, getting a trainer, maybe getting some coaching to get a program together. That's too much money. Okay, well, if you make $20 an hour and you've pissed away 5 hours a week in the gym,
right,
at $100 a week, right, $400 a month, we're talking, $4 or $5 grand
time
a year
is money.
of
That's
your
right.
time, and people that
That's
understand that, they know what I'm talking about. So why not? If it's $1,000, that sounds like a lot of money. If it's 50, 60 a session, what is 10 years of beating your head against the wall and not seeing results worth to you?
Sure. Well, look at it as it's just human nature to spend money on the things you love, right? If you love going out to dinner, you go out to dinner, you bring a spouse, a partner, whatever, a friend, and you're going to spend, say, $100, 50, 100, whatever, right? And then the following week you say, let's go off to the movies. And I can't remember if it was Zig Ziglar or I've been listening to these motivational guys almost my entire life, and well, my adult life anyway. But Zig Ziglar had said one time, I'm pretty sure it was Zig Ziglar, said, if you would invest into a racehorse, would you give that racehorse coffee at 1 o'clock in the morning? Would you feed it drugs? Would you make it eat a pizza?
Yeah, that's.
And then he followed that up with, and I hope I'm right. And if it's not Zig Ziglar, don't crucify me. But then he followed that up with, "Are you not worth more than a racehorse?" And I went,
that's
walked
a
away
great
with
way
that.
to look at it,
right?
I think that people we don't have respect for our body at all. We invest in all these different things, in nice cars and nice clothes,
guitars
and all these things, but like your body's literally driving you through life. And if your car's riding like shit,
right,
you need an oil change. Some of you in front of me need a new engine.
Right.
You gotta go.
Yeah, you're not kidding, brother.
You know what I'm saying, though? But if we all looked at, I think the perspective of all of this, perspective is everything. And I think we look at fitness like it's this luxury. A trainer, oh, that's luxury. I can't fit that into my budget. But I can drive a Yukon Denali for $750 a month, and and I could go to dinner and buy a sport coat for $200. Or on a lower level, if you don't have a ton of money, you're definitely spending, $3 a day on a coffee.
Easy.
7 days a week, right? Easy. So you're into it for $100 a month just in coffee. And I'm not saying you should quit your coffee, because I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
Right.
I don't even understand people who don't drink coffee. But the money is there when you start respecting yourself and respecting your body and understanding that you're an investment. You're not a jacuzzi. You're not a luxury piece of equipment.
Right.
That's a big part of starting the process.
True, but think about it. If you made that investment, how much more fun would it be in the jacuzzi?
Exactly. You might have some people joining you in the jacuzzi.
They're going to start calling me Joey Jacuzzi.
You might not be the only one in the jacuzzi. Less water would be pouring out.
That's right. Oh, nice. Oh, you're so kind.
Hey, I wouldn't say it to anybody but you.
Yeah, I know. That's a good one, though. You're pretty quick like that. So, all right. Now, the other thing, and this is good insight, and I hope at the end of the day, somebody listening, somebody watching is inspired to say, you know what? I'm done with the excuses. One of the things I used to train and teach a sales team of 6 or 7 people, and I would always say, look, the reason you're not hitting your goal is the reason you just gave me.
That's right.
Stop with the reasoning and just make it a commitment. And I'm guilty of this. When I was in North Carolina, I started going to the gym. I'd go 3 days, and then it would be nice out. And I'm like, no gym, because I'm going to go for a walk around the lake. And then that turned into, can't go for a walk around the lake. Got a phone call, happy hour at Chipotle. It's all right, man. It's like 2 weeks goes by, and it's like, man, I got to get back to that gym. And I never went back. So. Commitment's a big part. Now, I want to talk about diet real quick. It's just, I think sometimes like somebody like myself, I feel like, you know what, I'm really trying. I've reduced the carbs and, unfortunately, especially in this area, but even on a national level, the microbreweries, there for every gym that opens up, there's a brewery that opens up. They're both major trends.
Yep.
But I know like the IPAs and stuff. I had read an article one time that said one average IPA equals 3 Miller Lights. And I had 4 IPAs, and it's not a lot. It's 4 beers.
You could add 12 Miller Lights.
Oh my gosh. No, I actually said to myself, wow, I just drank 12 Miller Lights. Like, oh my gosh, no wonder I feel like crap.
Yeah, right.
But there's all these different trends and fast food trends and different food trends. Talk to me a little bit about diet. Like, what should I do? I can't get dressed. I've done this. I've gone grocery shopping. You spend $200. You come home and you look and it's like, great, I got all these vegetables and fruit and I'm going to be healthy. It's the new me. And then a week later, you're throwing this stuff away because it's gone bad. And,
So nutrition is everything, I'll say. Okay, so it can be very confusing for you. If you think fitness is hard, at least the commercials are encouraging us to get in the gym and walk on the treadmill and exercise and lift weights. Nutrition is like, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but all the stuff you're seeing in the stores, like, 30% less fat and this and that, like they're confusing the living shit out of all of us.
Is that right?
All of us. And here's what I could recommend. Let's keep this very simple and preliminary. There's apps like MyFitnessPal. You type in your weight, your age, your sex, and how often you exercise, and they calculate exactly what you should be taking in a day. Everything you grab, you can scan the barcode, enters it right in. So if I was talking to somebody...
Wait. So you're in a grocery store, you could scan the barcode and it enters it into MyFitnessPal?
So let's just say you went grocery shopping, okay, and you have all your groceries, and you're just on your day-to-day. You stop at Panera Bread or Starbucks.
Right.
You go on MyFitnessPal, you can search pumpkin spice latte, which is... You'll find you're going to get educated when you do this. That's why I like it.
Right.
That it has 400 calories and 60 grams of sugar.
Wow.
So now when you have to look at it and put that in there, now you start to be like, oh, geez, like the next time you go to have that, you're conscious of what you're putting
maybe
in.
I won't come back this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. For my second. So I think MyFitnessPal, there's a lot of different calorie counter apps. They coach you in the right direction. It's very entry level. And at that point, for somebody like yourself, we're speaking right now to all people who are just starting their routine or haven't had a lot of experience. Those things are great. I recommend that to people because actually in our boutique fitness, we don't do nutrition because it's ever changing. There's so many different ways,
and
so many things that
different.
work. Exactly. And you really can't franchise something like nutrition because everybody's different. Everyone has different ailments and different medications. And
right.
It's pretty, pretty extensive.
But obviously diet is critical, right?
Yep.
I mean, do you recommend working out in the morning? Because I was going in the morning and like I said, I didn't make a commitment. It didn't last. It's pretty obvious. I need to get back on track. I'm guilty. But I found that when I went in the morning, I had a guilty conscience when I was eating at lunch.
Yeah.
I thought twice, oh man, I don't want to just totally defeat what I did
Absolutely.
At the gym this morning,
I mean, everyone's got different schedules, but if you have the ability to, and when I say the ability, I mean, if you're not working at 5, 6, 7 a.m., do it then. Because your barriers are probably already accountability, discipline, motivation. If you think you're going to go to work and listen to your pain in the ass boss,
right,
and your coworkers complaining about God knows what all day, they take the wind out of your sails sometimes.
All day.
Not in my industry, but in many industries, it's man.
Right.
Then all of a sudden 5 o'clock comes around. If you think you had barriers before, now it's like, I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah,
it happens to me. I'm a guy in fitness.
Right.
Every day when I go into work, and if I plan to do the early class, because I got a little bit of commute, so a lot of times I'll exercise before I go in. But I'm at Orange, and there's an 8 a.m., there's 9 a.m., and now I'm working. I'm like, I got to hit one of these classes. All of a sudden, the second half of the day comes, 4 o'clock. I'll jump in the 5.
Right.
5 o'clock comes. It's much easier to get in the car and drive home. And that's me. I like to think I'm pretty disciplined. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old.
That's right.
So
yeah.
I would recommend, if you can, in the morning. Now, we do a lot of consultations. We call it like a client intake form. We build a rapport. We learn about people. We find out like what is their why, what brought them into our place, what are they looking to do. And a lot of people will, no, I'm not available in the mornings. Then you dig in, you look at their employer, you look where they live, and they're very close by. They have no kids. And it's like, you have to make some level of commitment. You can exercise in the morning. So that's the first step is putting your foot down.
Right.
And I'm not saying you have to, go run, 24 miles in the morning, but if you can do it in the morning, do it.
Yeah.
So,
Mike, what do you think? Mentioned that you had been doing this since you were 13, and that's because you are the younger brother of The Rock, Richie Altieri.
I'm now 21.
Yeah, okay.
Forever.
What are your thoughts on kids today? I think this is where it's doesn't matter if it's drug use, alcohol use, reading a book, studying math, whatever the case may be. I think as adults, we have a responsibility and an obligation to teach our kids, right? I think fitness is probably like, maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about because I don't know the statistics or anything, but it's probably low on the list. People I see kids, just pounding down Pepsis and, the energy drinks, which can't be good for you. I mean, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing to society and these kids that are going to grow up and not have a clue and they're all going to be overweight?
Well, I think that we can go a lot of different ways with this conversation.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is the norm. I'm not speaking for society. I'm just saying my observation. I'm like, wow, these kids are...
Well, it's reality. Kids play less. They're
not even outside anymore.
They're not. They're not outside. They don't play at the playground. They're not throwing around the football or dribbling the basketball. Not everybody. I think depending on the community you're in, that can change as well.
Right.
But I notice even kids that I know that are superior athletes are still spending a lot of time on video games. Fortnite. I know.
Come on,
Thank
man.
God I didn't get into that. That's not ever been a crutch of mine, and I don't need any more, so I'm not going to start at 33.
Yeah.
But I think that for parents, you set the tone. And I think at an early age, 5, 6, I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I'll tell you, it is addicting. TV can be addicting. Phones, the iPads, trying to set some healthy boundaries. And I'm not saying you should block that out. I'm just saying that allow the kids to spend 30 minutes and then get them outside if you can and let them run around and play.
Sure.
And I think it's actually, if you follow like any functional movement and these guys who are like really serious into movement patterns and they kind of become dweebs and that's all they focus on.
Right.
They're going back to crawling, the basic like functional movements when we were children, because we stopped doing that, playing,
right,
cartwheels, a lot of calisthenics and stuff we did when we were on the playground as kids. So, I mean, we should be, my point is we should be developing those patterns when we're young, 5 years old through 10 years old, leading us into sports or gymnastics or any type of functional activity that's physical.
Right. Well, actually, you just made me feel good about myself. I mean, I know we're talking about kids and their routine, but I do cartwheels and crawl. So I guess I do get some exercise.
No, seriously, that stuff is... There's actually a gym out there. I want to say it's like a monkey bar gym or something like that. You don't wear any shoes in there, and it's all about like just using monkey bars and
that's kind of cool though.
Playground concept. And now what's cool though, what I'll say about the new generation is they're getting into parkour and what's the show in the American Ninja Warrior.
Right.
We now have gyms locally and nationally that are opening up, encouraging kids to do that. I think that's brilliant.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know if they're going to make a ton of money, but it's cool. I would love to send my daughter or my son to those kind of places just to do some different mechanics that you're not going to get. You're certainly not getting in your house or in your backyard.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine. He was, I was in his apartment just last week and I thought they were speakers up on a tripod and it turned out they were virtual. It's something to do with a video game. These are like terminals. You put one on each side of the room and then you put these gloves on and they got wires attached to them and you can do all this like,
like boxing.
Yeah.
Video
and
games,
I'm like, it was brilliant. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This apartment is amazing. It's all video games, right?
Sure. That guy gets a ton of girls.
No different than walking into an apartment and seeing a bunch of guitars and podcasting equipment. I don't know.
That's a little cooler.
Yeah, thanks. But it really, there is an avenue with the video games and with the PlayStations that you can actually get involved and having some kind of a physical activity. No?
Yeah, I think that's accurate to say. And to get away from the video games, what I think that is, I'm a huge technology guy. I love all the new things that are coming out.
Right.
Fitbits, heart rate monitors, Apple Watches really put a lot of people onto measuring your heart rate, your sleep, how you're sleeping. Are you getting real sleep? So I think that technology is kind of meeting fitness now, and you're going to see in 5 years, everything is going to be tracked. Because millennials, and even younger than I am, we want to know everything. We want the details. We want the data. If we're paying $50 a session, we want to know how many calories we burn.
Right.
So I do think that that's cool. Now, it's like the gift and the curse, because at the same time, they can play Fortnite with 100 kids from here to California.
That's right.
And not sleep at all. But if parents are parenting and pushing them in the right direction, you can also track your calories on a free app. I mean,
right.
You could go spend $100 an hour on a nutrition specialist, and I think that's a great investment. But to get started, you don't need $1. You can, MyFitnessPal is free. I use it.
Yeah. I'm going to download it today. I promise you.
It's a definite thing. Everybody should be using it to start. And then if you get down to 10% body fat for you, then which I've never seen in my life
10%
either.
10% body fat.
To me, that's not a fun lifestyle. I'm not ready to make that kind of commitment. But as you progress, then you'd start diving into the details if that's what you even want to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I've been in fitness for a while. I've come full circle. I've been in the stage where it was like fitness over everything. My workouts are, all that matters. And now now I'm kind of a little more in leadership, and I'm recognizing the entry level person even more, the novice exerciser. And it's like, don't take it too serious. Get in. Just get moving. Have
some fun with it.
Have fun. Find a place that you enjoy, a community that you can grow with, that support you and are part of your goals and have similar goals.
Right.
And that will become a lifestyle. But if you go balls to the wall and you're there 7 days a week, 2-a-days, and you're getting all fired up because who knows what else is going on in your life, and if that's helping you that's fine. That's a healthy addiction.
Yeah, right.
But that's not long lasting.
It's not a logical
approach. And you see those people phase out very fast.
Sure. Well, listen, this has been awesome, man. You inspired me. I hope we inspired other people. Now, when you're, when you're this big guru and you're global, what happens to people that become, very, very larger than life? They start a clone. So what are you going to call your clone? What's Mike Altieri's clone going to be called? Mine's going to be called Sweat. I want to change the smell of sweat, so I'm going to have a clone called Sweat.
I named him Mikey Altieri Jr. Hopefully he can carry the torch. I don't need to get too big. That's another thing I have recognized as I try to climb the ladder and have a little bit of success. I'm starting to fade away from the spotlight a little bit more and appreciate the quiet, a little more of the quietness. So.
I like it behind the curtain, he says.
I also want to note that we said we were going to do 15 minutes of conversation. You have two Altieris on microphones. We got to be into this for a while. How long has it been? 30 minutes?
30 minutes. That's all right. Mike Altieri, thanks for waking up to the vibe, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with another episode. I don't know when, but it will be soon. So make sure you subscribe, share us on Facebook. Please post your comments. We want to hear what you're thinking, and have yourself a great day. God bless.